Hello, hello, friends. You are listening to the We Rise Together podcast. This is a weekly podcast where 5 women have come together to help you and encourage you to living the best life you can possibly live. We base all of our life on certain areas, and that's what this podcast is about. We hold each other up. We encourage ourselves and others in all the areas of life that need to be loved and taken care of. Areas like your finances and your faith, your family and your friends. We don't leave out fun, and we definitely don't leave out what we do for a living. So I hope you will join us every single week right here on this podcast. If you want to see us live, you can find us on YouTube. If you want to get to know us better and be a part of our community, please go over to Facebook. You can find the link in the description of this video. We have a Facebook group called We Rise Together, and we would love to have you join us in that group. So join us every single week right here, and don't forget, life is better when we rise together. Hey, friends! Okay, so welcome back to me because I missed last week. So I was sick and anyways. So welcome to our toxic home and how it's toxic. How about that? I don't know. Anyways, cracking up. I'm a little rusty because I was off for a week. So I felt like I was getting good and now I'm like a little rusty. Anyways, we want to talk about how our homes are toxic, and it might not be what you're thinking. It's not about dysfunction. It is about the toxins in our homes and how they affect our bodies and what they do to us and how they affect our adrenals and all sorts of different things in our systems. And I guess I want to just start this off by saying that for me personally, it took me a very long time to wrap my mind around getting rid of some of the products that I used to use. I don't know if this is a thing for you guys, but it's a total thing for me. I had certain products for cleaning, for laundry, for dishes, for everything that I used that I consistently used over and over and over. Like I would never buy anything different. And it took me a while to wrap my head around getting rid of all of that and actually believing and knowing what it does to your body and what it does to your kids and for sleeping and neurologically, and just, it was crazy for me. So one of the products that I had a really hard time getting rid of was Gain laundry detergent. Don't hate me, don't bite me, don't hit me, nothing. I loved Gain laundry detergent, and I can't now. I just cannot. I can't stand the smell of it. You walk in the laundry detergent aisle and it just gives me a headache. You even walk by the laundry detergent aisle and it gives you a headache.
Yep. Absolutely.
Crazy. Like, do you guys have...
Got to tell you a story about laundry detergent. We had some furry blankets that were stored in our holiday trailer. Hadn't used them in, I don't know, probably like 3 or 4 years. In the meantime, we had went to a clean home, so no more toxins, and had quit using the pretty bottle soap, right? We washed that thing 3 friggin' times and we could still smell the laundry soap and the fabric softener. It was bizarre. And it had been stored, you guys, for years. Like it was just, so just think, what is that can actually still smell in a blanket after 4 years and being washed 3 times? And once of that was in vinegar, right? Because vinegar will help loosen up that old detergent. Just think of that going into your skin.
Yeah, it's incredible. Right? Same thing. I haven't used that kind of laundry detergent in probably, I would say, oh my gosh, over 8 years now. And sometimes I would go back just because, my husband would go and grab a bottle of whatever, and you think you're going to use it. And there was one time, and I never use it on my clothes if he wanted to use it on his, but I remember going to bed and our closet door was open and I couldn't sleep because all I could smell was that soap. And the funny thing is, it was unscented and I could still smell it.
Wow.
Like there is just, and there's off gassing like throughout the life of your clothes, right? Like it's constantly, off gassing off of it. And I remember getting up in the morning thinking, what is wrong with me? I felt like something like a truck hit me. You had a headache and everything was just icky and brain fog. And I realized it was because he ended up using the laundry soap that I never really typically use.
Right.
And even though it was unscented, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. So
Right.
definitely went back to my natural one.
And then
that's just one product. That's one product that we're talking about.
That's one product.
And and right now, it's all the rage, right? I don't know if you guys have seen it. Like I see it on social media, everybody's starting to homestead, everybody's getting chickens, everybody's doing their own laundry detergent. There's all these different recipes, but even some of the things that people are putting in these homemade recipes are still not good. They're still toxic. And laundry detergent obviously is a big one. Dryer sheets are a huge one. Dryer sheets, from what I understand, I'm not going to claim to be the guru on this. I'm going to claim to be the person that her mom said, you should use this instead of this. And I said, okay, that's who I am, but I'm grateful. Right. Yeah. So it's kind of crazy to think that, there's so many products that we use, from floor cleaners to dish soaps and laundry detergents, that dryer sheets, that we don't even know what's in that stuff.
But when you think about it, you guys, I think the laundry part of it is I'm not saying it is. I think it's worse than the floor cleaner. The floor cleaner is not great either, because if you're bare feet and your kids are walking around bare feet, all of those toxins are going in there. But laundry, even your bedding, you literally have, unless you're going buck naked, which we're not.
Naked and afraid.
Right? That is literally touching your skin 24/7. And our skin, it's a known fact, it's our largest organ, and it takes in all of those toxins. It secretes it into our systems. And to deep dive a little bit into it, besides the common things like Greta said, with the brain fog and just bugging your senses, what about the endocrine disruptors, right? The hormonal imbalances that it causes, all of those things that we can go really deep into. Asthma in children, there's been linked to that, right? So
any kind of skin,
it's a big deal.
Rashes, eczema, anything like that.
Eczema, right, Joe? Yeah, for sure.
And you say other thing, like you're naming other things. When I started to make the switch, I was like a big smell person, like where I wanted my house to smell good and my car to smell good. And, so I would do the different wax burning pots and different candles and different plugins. And, I always dealt with headaches before and just like congestion. And when I took all that stuff away, it was like amazing how clear sinuses and how that stuff goes away, and even just breathing. And, so then I started using alternatives. I would diffuse like natural oils, or even like today I burned on the stove. I put a pot with water and clove and cinnamon just for that smell. So like a different alternative. And it was like a couple of years ago, I'm like, oh, I'm going to try one of those wax burners again, or the plugins. And I did a plug-in and a wax burner. And it was like, within 2 minutes, taking it out of the package, it was too strong. And I'm like, why did I think maybe this changed? But, it makes a difference on a lot of things. And, you talk about like kids and where Joanne was going with skin problems. Kids are breathing that in. And I feel like so many kids are dealing like with asthma and like the attention problems. And it's like they're breathing those chemicals in all the time. Like nothing drives me nuts worse than when I see a kid's room with a wax melt. Like
Crazy.
it's
Crazy.
and
Right?
yeah,
But
it's all
here's
over.
the thing, you guys. I mean, one of the reasons why we're doing this is to bring awareness, because there's a lot of people that just, they really don't know. They don't know. So, you know what? That's how we do this is we talk about it and we bring awareness to them, because sometimes young moms don't know, right?
It's not just young moms. I mean,
true, but
well, okay, so I got you guys all beat. I did the whole ditch and switch with my cleaners in 1995. So that's 20
oh wow,
years ago. I did it in the summertime, and I remember we had a garage sale, and I had 6 boxes of cleaners that I pulled out and had sitting on the table, and I just put free. Somebody saw them and went, "You're not selling this?" I said, "Get that crap away from me. I don't want to use it anymore." And I had switched to a company that had given me some clean products. Not 100%. I mean, nothing squeaky clean, but in 1995, I was all about the clean, but it wasn't about the scent. It wasn't about the breathing in. It was about the touching and the wearing of the clothes, right? And being under the blankets and being surrounded all the time, and had little kids and walking across the floor, and the cat walking. That's a big thing, you guys. Pets walk across your wet floor, because guaranteed you wash your floor, a pet's going to walk across. And then what do? They lick their paws.
right.
Right. So they're actually ingesting whatever you put on your floor. But for years, I burned scented candles, and it took because the information just wasn't there open enough. We didn't have the internet, we didn't have Facebook. Yeah, I'm that old, you guys. You didn't have Facebook, didn't have TikTok, didn't have Instagram to share all this information easily and quickly. And so yeah, sometimes it's a slow start, and that's okay, because I do not beat myself up about this, because I made that one switch. And then when I finally clued in that, oh, hey, maybe, shouldn't be doing the candle part too. Then I made that switch, and it's okay, because I had taken all those other things out. So even if you do start switching things out, and you can't make the decision to say, well, I'm going to switch all my cleaners over all at once, if that's not in your budget, or like Corey said, you just can't give up that one product because you love what it does. Leave that one till last. There is lots of options out there. I know for a fact there's some new options coming in the next couple of weeks that we're all pretty excited about. We have no idea exactly what they are, but we know there's some pretty good options coming. But so if you don't know where to start, reach out to one of us. We can definitely put you on the right track, and consider it your first step forward.
I used to be a party light consultant. It reminded me, I was like, oh my God, I was a party light consultant for like 4 years. Talk about scented candles. Yeah.
So my favorite night was when my husband would take our girls to the hockey game, and I would light my 36 votives and have all the lights off and all the candles going.
I still burn candles, but I burn beeswax candles, because actually, little tip here, beeswax candles actually clean your air. So they the same as a salt lamp with the negative ions. Beeswax candles do the same. So yeah, I burn. Here's one right here.
I can't wait to get bees.
See, I'm not going that far. I'm not getting bees.
I'm getting bees. I am getting bees, because bees do so much for you.
Well, and weather-wise, Corey
do.
would have a whole lot more luck with bees than I think you would, Carrie.
Right.
Probably true.
Did you?
I think so. I did get rid of that, though, Joe. Just so you know, I did give it up a long time ago. It was really difficult, though.
But you know what, you guys, when you watch TV, and I don't watch a ton of TV. I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff, but my husband records like Mountain Men and different shows like that. So in sometimes if he does soften his chair, he doesn't flip through the advertisements. But they truly make laundry, like those scents you put in your washer and laundry soap and fabric softeners, sound like it is absolutely amazing. And it gets you, it gaslights you into thinking this is an amazing product. And you think, well, they wouldn't sell me something that's going to hurt me and my kids. But yeah, they will, because it's for profit. And the corporations that own those, Procter and Gamble and Johnson and Johnson, I mean, those are huge corporations. They're just making money, right? So they don't really care. I mean, you go read the fine print on there because there is actually warnings on them, but no one talks about what it does. So I'm just really excited that we did this. I'm also excited, like Joe said, that we do have some great products coming. Well,
yeah. Well, because 90% of the, like, for me, for people like me that don't know everything about the science side of things and the chemical side of things and what it does to your body, all I know is that it makes you feel like crap. Like, that's enough for me, right? But I didn't want to dive into, I'm a very blue personality, right? I'm sure that a lot of people don't know what that means, but that means that there's no research in my brain. Sorry, it doesn't exist. So for somebody like me that just wants something that works really well, but I need to be able to trust a company to be able to provide that for me, because I don't have the time, the will, or the want to look into every single thing. I'm glad that we have a place that we can go to that's bringing these kind of healthy products to us for moms that don't have the time to do it or don't want to do it. They can just grab and go and say, you know what? I trust that this company is going to take good care of me because they have so much testing and so much, I'm going to use the word integrity, so much value and quality that they've hired the greatest scientists to do that for us. And getting these clean products coming to us here in a couple of weeks is so refreshing, because 90% of the time, I honestly don't know what to buy. And I'm not trying to sound like a drone. I have a brain. That's not my area of expertise.
You're right, Corey, because there's a lot of products that are on the market that are advertised as green and they're not. They're greenwashed. I'm not going to start naming names of those products because I could get in trouble, but there is a lot. So, yeah, like, you know what, reach out to one of us and we can lead you in the right direction, because a lot of greenwashing, they claim their products are green, but they're not. Right. So that's.
Well, and I mean, Greta, I think it was Greta that said something about the extra boost, right? The extra scents that go into the dryer. And you said that the scent lasted on your blanket for 3 years. I actually experienced the same thing with some clothes, right? Pull it out the drawer a year later and it still smelled. But so if you really want something like that, there is ways to do that safely and naturally. There's recipes. You can either Google it, go onto a homesteading site, go onto a DIY site, or again, reach out to one of us. We can let you know that there's a way to do it.
Put it on We Rise Together group.
I was going to say, I already know what Corey's going to say, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, we have a Facebook group. If this is the very first time you've ever caught this podcast, we have a Facebook group called We Rise Together with a Z. And it's amazing. And we have a beautiful community there. And it's growing rapidly. I'm so excited. And we should do, well, not me, because apparently I'm bad at that, but one of you should do that and put it in there. And I'll use it.
Hey.
I'll use it. I'll be like, it works.
I have a question too. Do any of you, I know there used to be like an app that people would use when they were at the store. They could put it in the app or scan it and it would let them know. So do you guys use anything like
what
that?
happened with that app is it was bought out by, I believe Procter and Gamble bought it, right, guys?
Oh, okay. So somebody.
So it's not as, but it's still, so what you do is you'd scan the barcode and then it would bring up that product if it was in the database. and it would tell you by numbers and color coded. You know, 1 I think was bad to 5 was green, which was good. It seems
the 1 was good, 10 was bad. If it was
something
green,
like
it was
that.
red.
Yeah. So then you could kind of see, but it would also tell you, like, you get something was flagged at like a 5, and it might have been because it was fragrance, not necessarily that it was like phosphates or something like that. But I mean, even fragrance, I'm not entirely sure about the US, but I know in Canada, they don't have to tell you what that fragrance is. And even if it's natural, they can put natural fragrance. So you think that, oh, this is fantastic. This laundry soap, it's scented naturally. But naturally can just mean that it's derived from something natural and it's processed chemically, and therefore it's crap after all. So you need to be really careful about that. Like, it's just the way that they're not made to tell you exactly what it is. So that's back again to having to trust your company and trust where you're getting your information from. It's a big deal, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I hope we get shampoo.
Do you know the one product in my 28 years that I've not been able to find one that I feel is green or clean is a hair gel, like a hard hair gel? Because I mean, you guys see the hair. I get mine to stand up. It's not like I have perpetual bedhead. I actually do that all. But
that would be me.
It's tough to show. When I had my short spiky hair, I really couldn't find a gel one. I did find some that were waxy, that were kind of natural, but if you have fine hair, then that falls too.
Well, not only that, when you say waxy, it's a beeswax base. So you just think about putting beeswax in your hair. So bee flies by and it sticks to it, right? So that is the one thing that I've not been able to find, and that I do use is not.
I just got a picture in my brain of you walking around with a bunch of bees stuck to your head.
But that's the one thing. So that's the thing I hope is coming, is some sort of a gel or something for support like that, hair support, right?
Yeah.
You know, that we could really talk mini shows about the toxins in the homes. There's things that we don't even think about. Kids pajamas, kids clothes, they're full. They spray them with fire retardant chemicals. So I know my daughter and my son go to kind of I don't know if you guys have Old Navy in the US, but in Canada, most pajamas sold at Old Navy or now don't have the fire retardant on them. The other one here is Superstore and Independent. They don't have it on because it's really bad for you. I don't know exactly what it does. My daughter does. You know, there's clothes. I know I buy organic sheets. People think I'm crazy. You buy organic sheets? Heck yeah, because I sleep on them. I don't want them full of. There's a symbol though, guys, on your cotton. Doesn't have to be organic as long as it's. Don't quote me on this, but Okie-Tex
Okay.
has a symbol on it. You know what? I'll put it on the Facebook group as well, Corey. We'll do that.
Let's just share all the things we know with everybody.
So that's one thing, is if you see that symbol on things, even though it's not organic, it does not have any kind of harsh chemicals that can do harm to the body. So you look for that on bedding, you look for it on your towels, your face cloths, your clothing, that kind of thing. So,
well, I know what you were saying about the fire retardant, because at my day job, the employees have to wear fire resistant outerwear, and when we order them brand new stuff and open that box, it smells like we've just opened up a box of mothballs. It's awful. So the one thing we haven't touched on yet, and like you say, we can talk about this forever and ever in many, many shows, but we've been talking a lot about cleaners and clothes. The one thing we haven't talked about is personal care products other than shampoo and gel, right? That means toothpaste and lipstick and mascara and deodorant and body wash and everything else. So that's something just to keep in mind.
I'm actually on the hunt for clean makeup right now, and I've tried a few different companies, and I haven't quite decided who I'm going to go with. I used to go with a company that I was with, and I'm not with them anymore. So I just thought I'd step out and try a couple other companies. So maybe I'll post that too when I figure that all out. I'm actually following somebody who's actually testing and doing a lot of the work, coming up with the cleanest skincare and makeup companies in North America. So
yeah, I've been following that too, and I like the fact that she's not just saying yes, this is a good one, this isn't. She's saying why.
Yeah. In fact,
I was
what's that, Grab?
Sorry, I was just going to touch on the makeup and personal care products, and just going back to technically being raised in Europe and how their standards are so different from North American standards. And I had no idea. I mean, I was raised during times where things were very scarce. And, my grandma and my mom, they used brown soap to wash everything. There was no laundry detergent. And if you got some, you were lucky. But I think it was a very healthy option, right? Like we called it brown soap, but I think it's like, I don't even know, Castile soap. I don't even know. It was brown, had no smell or it wasn't scented. But it did the trick. And of course they use things like, I'm sure there was like something like washing soda or borax or something like that along those lines, right? So, I mean, natural products. But actually 4 or 5 years ago when I went back to Europe, and was my first time going as like an adult, and I took my daughter with me, and we ended up going, to like a place kind of like a pharmacy where they have, makeup or whatever, right? And my daughter wanted to grab a mascara, and she grabbed a brand that she used here, and was Maybelline. And just out of curiosity, I kind of looked at the back label, and I couldn't believe that there was only 4 ingredients in it. Whereas her Maybelline that she had here had like, I don't even know. 20? I mean, look at your mascara. And I only made, name this one because that's something that she used. But then I started walking through the store and literally picking up bottles of things that I know we have here in North America, and comparing the ingredients. And I was absolutely shocked at the amount of ingredients we have here versus what they have in Europe. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, they have a quarter of what we have.
Well, it seems to me the number's 2,500, Greta, right? Is it not that there's 2,500 chemicals that have been banned by,
if not more,
if not more, for sure, that are allowed to be used in North America compared to Europe?
And then, I mean, same thing. You said organic sheets. We use 100% cotton and linen. Linen is coming back, or it has its trends, but it's kind of like hemp clothes, right? Like it's the same. It's very natural, and it actually is good for you. Funny thing is, I stopped using a dryer just for whatever reason. I don't even know why. It's only because I think our dryer is on the way out, so I think I want to save it for a bit. But I started using like a drying rack, and I used to just do my husband's clothes because he's like, I'll just do my clothes. I don't care if they're crispy. And he actually said that he sweats less, feels way better in his clothes than he's ever had. And I did my sheets where I dried them on a drying rack, and I swear I had the best sleep ever. So there's something about that, right?
Like, that's very interesting. I find that interesting.
It's weird because as a kid, I used to hate when my grandma used to put new sheets on the bed because it was like getting into a cardboard box with paper.
Right. Well, I mean, I have a clothesline,
right?
So in the
because it was like on the clothesline, on the balcony, sun bleached, like It was all linen and 100% organic cotton, right? And I went back when I went back to Europe, she's still using the same sheets. And I was like, oh my goodness. They were still crispy. And, like when you get in there, you actually hear them crack.
And they smell so
Um,
good,
but
right? They smell like fresh
smell
air.
good, right? Like, and I feel like it's like completely different sleep you get when you get into a bed like that, right? Versus,
I wonder,
something that
do
comes
you
out of
think
a
it's
dryer.
maybe
I don't
like the
know.
same thing with the home cooked food where it's the energy of it,
Maybe.
right? Like the energy of the outdoor or just air drying it compared to the electricity, lower frequency of a dryer. I mean,
Yeah.
wow.
I don't know. There's something about it, that's for sure. I mean, when you look at, and maybe there's maybe somebody has an answer for this, but when you pull out your clothes, you always have lint left behind. Like, why is that? Like, are your clothes shedding? Is there something that, gets
It's your clothes are
pulled
slowly
out, or like
being taken apart.
torn apart? I don't know. I mean, things lasted way long. Like I said, I mean, I can tell you, I'm over 45. My grandma's used those sheets for way longer than I've been around, and they're still perfect, right? Because they're not, she doesn't own a dryer. She doesn't even own a washing machine. Literally, I don't even know how she survives. When I was there for a month, I was like, I had to go to my aunt's just to wash my clothes because because I have, like, I mean, it's a very different way of life, but the clothes felt so good when they were, dried in the sun on the balcony, right?
Probably another thing is if those sheets are that old, they're probably way better quality than what we
Oh
buy
yeah,
now, right? They're probably
definitely. I mean, that's your 100% cotton right there.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
Very
It's
interesting.
that brown soap. It's that brown soap and fresh air that keeps them.
Mm-hmm.
Brown soap. I wish I knew what the name of it. I think it was just called brown soap. Um,
I'm wondering if it was
yeah, I
brown
really
because they made it with like beef tallow, or do you know what they probably did back then, would have made it with beef tallow.
I
They
have no idea.
not
I
making
don't know, but my
shea
grandma
butter.
still has till this day a bar of brown soap in her bathroom. And it was used for everything, for your personal care, for washing your
Yeah.
laundry, for other than dishes. I don't think they used it for dishes, but,
I bet you it was beef
and
tallow.
that's another thing.
Pork
Dish soap
tallow.
is another thing, right?
Yeah.
That's we don't think about, right? And that
When
was the
you
hardest thing for me.
when you're
Which
talking about people on like online making natural recipes that are supposed to be healthier, it reminded me, I seen somebody actually doing that on TikTok or something the other day, where they added a really harsh dish soap to vinegar and something else, and they were using it as a stain remover. I'm like, maybe, I mean, it's probably a stain remover, but it's certainly not an alternative to a store-bought stain remover. It's dish soap, and it was blue. Right? So just saying. I mean, the color, people don't think about that either, is the color that's really toxic as well as a lot of those colors. So yeah.
especially the neon colors, when you see them, I'm like, ooh, what's in there?
Yeah. And we could do another whole show on food additives as colors and what they do to us, but for another day. But yeah, we will definitely get this up on the website, and then as the new products are released with our amazing company, we will definitely fill everybody in on that. I'm excited for that. That's about what, 10 days away, ladies?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that'll be interesting.
Well, from the day of this being posted, it'll be 5 days later.
Right. That's true. By the time we post this, yeah, it'd be 5 days. So I did hear through the grapevine that the president said there is up to 70 products in this vertical, which is the personal care and the home together. And nothing is supposed to be over $40 US. Anywhere price is supposed to be between $10 and $40 US. Now, don't quote me on that. That's just, I've heard kind of circulating through our chats and stuff, but
One thing
70
I'd heard is
products,
that
I'm
there's
excited.
one product more than 40, but that was it.
Yeah, I think, okay, maybe I heard that wrong. I thought they said 70. Maybe it's by the time
Oh,
it's
no.
all done.
No, there's I think there's 70 products. There's one pillar or 6 pillars in the vertical, up to
Okay.
70 products.
That makes
Price
sense.
point is way down, but there's one product that was over that $10 to $40 range.
Okay, that's what you're saying. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So anybody want to add anything to that, Miss Corey?
I don't think so. I think we should just wrap it up and tell them what we're doing on the next show. I'm good.
Yes. So the next show, we're going to talk about one of the 5 F's. So join us as we discuss one of the 5 F's, and we're not going to tell you which F that is. We're not even going to tell you what the 5 F's are. We want you to join us because actually the 5 F's mean a lot to the 5 of us. So we're excited and happy to be able to share our thoughts on the 5 F's. And with that, thank you for joining us. And remember, we rise together. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. We are so grateful you joined us as we discuss our experiences on our life's paths. Our vision, no matter where you are in your life path, is to add value to your life by sharing ours. You can find more incredible resources in our We Rise Together Facebook group. We'll leave the link posted in the show notes at the bottom. And until next time, we appreciate you, and remember, we rise together.